What's up, YouTube? Demi here with some more spoilers, updates, whatever. So they finally gave us the skill reveals for SOULREND and BANE, two new chaos spells. So we're gonna go over that together, and then some other item spoilers, and also some patch notes. So let's get into it. The Path of Exile Synthesis will be introducing two new chaos spells, SOULREND and BANE. Additionally, we're planning to improve the chaos spell style by changing some of its interactions and mechanics. Great. They are kind of boring, and because they're not elemental, it's like, is there really a point? I can't get Chaos Pen that easily, right? So, SOULREND fires a projectile that weaves through enemies, turns towards targets in front of the projectile, and pierces through any enemy's hit. As the projectile travels, it applies a damage over time effect in a medium-sized radius to enemies. The damage over time effect is very potent, but only lasts a short duration. Cool. When enemies are hit by the projectile, they take a small amount of chaos damage and grant a large amount of energy shield leech. 4% at all gem levels. That's really cool. So it's like encouraging hybrid builds and pure ES builds at the same time. Although SOULREND is designed to work on its own for most encounters, it also works well alongside Essence Drain to combine their dot while restoring energy shield and life. I don't really like this concept. Because it's like currently for chaos skills to feel good, you need to use like the Blight Threshold Jewels and Volblight Blight, and then like there's just so much other shit you need to do to make it work. And I'm like, all right, do that all, and then also add another linked setup with BANE or SOULREND in it. I don't know, it's weird. On that note, Essence Drain now applies this damage over time effect in a small area on impact. Interesting. This should make it easier to apply the dot to a specific target if there are other enemies clustered around it. Okay, so it's like better at prolifing, basically, without contagion. I kind of like that. BANE is a new skill that instantly applies the damage over time effect in a large area. It also applies your linked curses to enemies up to your curse limit. The damage over time deals more damage for each curse BANE applies, up to 47% more damage at level 20. That's a lot of damage. BANE has the curse skill type, letting some modifiers as a passive skill tree, like curse skill effect, like skill effect duration of curse skills, sorry. AoE of curse skills and cast speed of curse skills apply to BANE. Passive tree stats have been updated to match this behavior. Okay. Oh, here we go. To further improve chaos skills, we've also changed the Blight Threshold Jewel. Previously, Spreading Rot caused enemies affected by Blight's Hinder to take 50% increased dot. 50% more multiplier from Threshold Jewels that you don't even need for your main skill. That was a problem I was talking about earlier. This damage bonus was significant enough that we had to balance chaos skills around using Blight and Spreading Rot. We've changed this to instead cause each pulse of Blight to apply Wither for 2 seconds per jewel, to also apply Wither for 2 seconds per jewel. This lets Blight easily apply damage bonus that have been accessed by Chaos characters via other sources if they don't want to use Blight. Does that mean they switched it? It says also apply. Not like they got rid of the damage multiplier and then gave it just Wither. Now it has both, if I'm reading that right? I thought my problem with this was like they should have just got rid of that damage improvement entirely and just added the 50% more to all the chaos skills, which is what it sounds like they did, but the wording makes it seem like it's not like, I don't know. Let's see the video. There's SOULREND. It really just looks like Haunt from D3, which is fine. I mean, it's a pretty cool level type of skill. There's BANE. It's just like hey, let me pause this. It feels like to me that what they've done is they've made Essence Drain, remade Essence Drain into its own skill with its own AoE, so you don't have to use Contagion and Essence Drain at the same time. And then BANE is just Contagion with higher dot and it applies curses. You feeling that with me? Like they've split the skill pairing into two different individual skills. That's what I'm feeling. Like you don't need to combo it anymore, but you can for even additional effectiveness. It's pretty fucking cool regardless. I mean, I don't really know what they meant with this, but... yeah, okay, sure, whatever. Let's go ahead and get into the spoilers. So, we got a new synthesized base, plus 2 minimum frenzy charges implicit. A lot of people are very confused as about what this actually does. It brings your minimum from 0 up to 2, which means you can't go below that. You can't spend those 2, you just get the permanent charge multipliers. So I would get movement speed per frenzy, evasion per frenzy, attack damage per frenzy, and then a more multiplier attack speed and cast speed as well, and damage. And that's up all the time. You can't spend these to get like a flicker strike. They're just always on your character. It's like a permanent minimum damage threshold buff to you, which is pretty cool, especially if we can get, I mean, we're assuming that you can get the other two as well. You can get minimum endurance and minimum frenzy charges, or power charges, which is a generic defensive buff and a generic crit buff, respectively. Like, I really like this to an extent, but I also am not really, like, this beats the implicits on every other shield. All of them, when it comes to damage. Like, they're all just a little teeny bit of spell damage, I think, is the most you're going to get out of it. 2 frenzy charges is like 8% more damage and 8% or more attack speed, more cast speed. Like, it's really, really good. And if you can get endurances, being able to get minimum endurance charges on like a Wander, for example, like a ranged character holding a shield, be pretty cool defensively and offensively. Or maybe we'll be able to get triple synthesized bases where we can get minimum frenzy power and endurances. I don't know. It's like a general power buff to everything, which is what power creep is, right? So we'll see how this goes. Maybe they're just trying to push the shield meta, because currently everybody just plays dual wielder bows. Everything else is at a severe disadvantage, two-handed especially. And then the next spoiler. So this is a couple things. It's a unique ring from Synthesis. It's a synthesized base, and it's an amethyst ring, which is the chaos resist implicit base, but it has mana regen implicit. So it's a synthesized amethyst ring that is also a unique. And it gives Herald of Agony buff effect, Herald of Agony mana reservation. It's pretty huge, honestly. If this is like a cycle where you can get one for each Herald, I might like this. I mean, Elementalists would like this. Every build would like this. It doesn't really seem to be that insanely OP for Herald of Agony, since most Herald of Agony builds only use one Herald and like a defensive aura or two. So it's like they don't really need this. But since it is usually a Herald that you want to 6-link, it's a pretty powerful thing. Like, 38% reduced reservation. How much does level 4 Enlighten give? Negative 12%. So this is like over 3 times that much reservation, which would allow any build to throw on this ring, any Herald of Agony build, and get like an extra aura out of it, most likely. But downsides, the ring has basically no stats. Mana regen, all attributes, chaos res, and a little bit of flat chaos. Most of the Herald of Agony builds don't scale chaos on hit. They just have poison chains, so they can stack virulent stacks. So I don't know. I kind of like it. It feels to me like this is Kvass, the main antagonist, protagonist of the Synthesis League. We're not sure which yet. It looks like it's him. It's like his memory. I like it. I don't know. It's a cool ring. Let me know what you guys think. And then, of course, let's go ahead and get into the shitpost patch notes. These were posted by Slippery Jim 8, of course. But he fed all of the previous patch notes into a predictive keyboard to predict the next ones. They're really funny. Like, with 3.6, there are standard and hardcore leagues, but you can't complete the mission on cruel difficulty. You can now build very effective stun characters who die after a short time. Oh god. Added a new spell called Captain Archery Woohoo that creates a divine orb can tree slightly larger than 496 by 496. Added a bug with the graphical effect of Molten Shell. Added physics simulations on hit instead of just physical damage. If they actually did this, like Ragdoll on hit, I would be pretty happy about that. Added new dialogue in the options menus. That's not very funny. Added a new buff effect, passives. Okay. Stormbrand has been nerfed. They now grant more life on it. Arc no longer has a usable corpse. Winter Orb now shields exiles who have recently disconnected. God damn it. Blade Vortex no longer has a range of cosmetic scorpion effects. Elemental hit has been lowered from 100% to 101% elemental penetration. Do you have any idea how broken that is? 101% pen? Like, most skills have no pen. 101% pen is more multipliers. Molten Strike support now has diminishing returns while fighting. Oh, this is my favorite. Tornado Shot will now occasionally comment on your own efforts. So when you're just playing, you know, your Tornado Shot character is just randomly like, dude, you fucking suck. Stop it. I love it. Glacial Cascade now has 50% increased movement speed. Scourge Arrow gains immunity to debuffs that could have had its effects on staves. Staves are so shit. Berserker Ascension has been renamed to Herbalism. Slayer Overleach is now all attack damage, leases life against taunted enemies. Gladiator fixes have been fixed. Champion of the Cause now causes skill trees reset. Saboteur now works with unarmed attacks. Unarmed mines and traps? Okay. Trickster Ascendancy now has increased quantity of items found after death, which of course is very important for those damage over time cast on. This is your RF cast on death build you guys keep asking me to make. That's what this is. Chieftain Ascendancy points refunded. Accurate. the lowest percentage besides Berserker, I believe. Elementalist bug introduced. Necromancers for the first time are only available in 2.3.1. This was, it's currently 3.5, 3.6 soon. This was like 3 years ago. Deadeye was granting more damage than intended, so it is now limited to 2. Okay. Alright, I like it. And then Hierophant gems have been moved around. Please try it. I don't know. I'll link these posts in the description. Let me know what you guys think about all these new things. And of course, let's look forward to even more spoilers tomorrow. Also, the 40k video is up on my channel now. So if you missed the 40k subscribers celebration stream, I'll link that VOD in the description in this video as well. So you can enjoy it. It's 7 hours long. Keep that in mind. It's a full VOD. I try to get it to edit. I try to edit it and upload it correctly, but YouTube rejected the upload even though it was less than their maximum. The maximum's like 12 hours and 128 gigs. It was 7 hours and 74 gigs and took me 17 hours to upload, plus render time and all the other shit. And it failed at the end because that's how YouTube works. It doesn't tell you it's not going to work until the very end. So then I had to go highlight the VOD out of Twitch and export it and wait for that to process, and that's what you get. So yeah, I don't know. We have 5 new Malaysian users. I will see you guys in the next spoiler video. That'll be Demi out.